Hi, this is Connie. Vince is going to prepare a favorite restaurant dish that many find hard to replicate at home. But with this recipe, you'll find that it's a lot easier, and as good as takeout. It's Chinese beef and broccoli.
And hi, this is Vince. Welcome to our channel, A Quick Recipe. We're going to start with 1.5 pounds of beef. You can choose from flank, skirt or sirloin steak. We're using flank steak. It's our favorite cut for this type of recipe, but any of the other cuts will work too. If your butcher will do it, have the meat trimmed, and run through the tenderizing machine a couple of times. When you get it home, cut the beef lengthwise with the grain of the meat. Then cut each piece so that is about 1/4 inch thick and 1.5 to 2 inches long. Then place it in a bowl for tenderizing. First 1 teaspoon of baking soda, which keeps the meat tender and moist when cooked. Then 1/2 teaspoon of kosher salt. Watch for the total amount of salt used, because there's a lot of sodium in the other ingredients. 4 teaspoons of light soy sauce. Coarse ground black pepper to taste. 2 teaspoons of sugar. We prefer brown sugar for this recipe. 2 teaspoons of Chinese Shaoxing wine, or rice wine vinegar if Shaoxing is unavailable. 2 teaspoons of oyster sauce. Then thoroughly mix the ingredients so that the meat is fully coated. By the way, it makes recipes like this much easier if you prep the ingredients in advance. This way you're not fumbling around trying to balance ingredient prep, and actually trying to cook. Now we're completing the tenderizing of the meat by lightly hand-working 2 teaspoons of cornstarch into the meat, which along with the baking soda and wine, activates the process known as velveting. Set the beef to the side for about 20 minutes and let it rest while the velveting is completed. Also, most recipes for beef and broccoli only have broccoli as the vegetable, but we're adding 2 veggies that are optional. The first is 1 medium red bell pepper that is julienned. Besides giving it a sweet mild flavor, it adds some color to the dish, which you will see when we plate it. And the other optional vegetable is 1 medium carrot that we have cut into diagonal slices. The carrot has another but distinctly different hint of sweetness, adding to more depth of flavor. Again, it's optional, but both bell pepper and carrots are still very much in character with Chinese cuisine. In a separate bowl, take 3 tablespoons of cornstarch and add 3 tablespoons of chicken stock, chicken broth or even water. This makes up the thickening agent for the sauce. To mix properly, the liquid should be cold. Continue to stir the cornstarch and liquid until they develop a slurry-like consistency that's not too pasty. Then put it aside. Our next step is to put together the actual sauce. In another separate bowl, pour in 8 tablespoons of unsalted chicken stock or broth. Then 8 tablespoons of oyster sauce. Followed by 8 tablespoons of light soy sauce. And 2 tablespoons of brown sugar. Then mix the sauce thoroughly. And put it aside until we need it. Now comes the blanching of the broccoli. In a pot of boiling water that we have salted to taste, add 1.5 pounds of broccoli crowns that we have slit and cut into mouth-sized pieces. Have another large bowl or container filled with cold water available to shock the broccoli after it's been in the boiling water for about 1.5 minutes. We're not cooking the broccoli, but par-cooking it, and shocking it to stop the cooking process, which maintains its taste and texture. In a large preheated pan at high temp, add cooking oil to just cover the bottom of the pan. While the cooking oil is coming up to heat, drizzle 2 teaspoons of sesame oil over the meat and then mix it into the meat. The sesame oil will give that silky sheen and texture that you get from professionally prepared beef and broccoli. When the oil is up to the proper temp, add the beef, making sure to space it so that the entire surface of the meat can cook evenly. We want the meat to surface brown, and not fully cooked, but done to rare on the inside. Once the meat no longer sticks to the pan, quickly turn it over just to make sure it sears evenly on the other side. Then quickly remove the meat from the hot pan.
Want to see our next new recipe? Click the subscribe button.
And also please give us a like. It generates revenue to support the channel. It may be necessary to add a little bit more cooking oil to cook the bell pepper and carrot. With the oil up to low-medium heat, add the bell pepper and carrot. The lower heat setting allows the flavors to be maintained and prevents the vegetables from taking on a bitter taste. Continue to sauté them until crisp tender. Once the vegetables are just about right, keep a lower temperature and add 8 cloves of fresh garlic that have been finely minced. And add 2 tablespoons of finely minced fresh ginger. Let the garlic and ginger take on the heat for a minute, or at most a minute and a half. To deglaze the pan and get all of those good bits loose, add 2 tablespoons of Shaoxing wine or rice wine vinegar. Now add the beef back to the pan while maintaining a low-medium temp. Then pour in 2 tablespoons of sesame seed oil for more additional silkiness, and for a hint of nutty flavor to the beef. Then stir it in thoroughly. You can see the sheen that it adds to the meat. This maintains and even enhances the tenderness of the beef as well as being a plus in finishing off the searing. With the pan under medium temp, we're adding the blanched broccoli to the pan. Bring the broccoli up to temp while fully incorporating it with the other ingredients. Now we're adding the sauce we made to the pan, while maintaining a low-medium heat. Before you stir in the cornstarch slurry, make sure to give it a good mix so the cornstarch is completely dissolved in the liquid.
Here's the list of ingredients for Chinese beef and broccoli. Start with 1.5 pounds of beef steak, either flank, skirt, or sirloin steak. 1 tablespoon of baking soda. Soy sauce, divided into 4 teaspoons and 8 tablespoons. Brown sugar, divided into 2 teaspoons and 2 tablespoons. Chinese Shaoxing wine, or rice wine vinegar, measured as 2 teaspoons and 2 tablespoons. Oyster sauce, 2 teaspoons and 8 tablespoons. Cornstarch, divided into 2 teaspoons and 3 tablespoons. 6 cloves of fresh garlic finely minced. 2 tablespoons of fresh ginger finely minced. 1.5 pounds of fresh broccoli crowns cut to mouth-sized pieces. Optionally, 1 medium fresh red bell pepper julienned, and 1 medium fresh carrot diagonally sliced. Unsalted chicken stock or broth, divided as 3 tablespoons and 8 tablespoons. Sesame oil, divided into 2 teaspoons and 2 teaspoons. Plenty of vegetable cooking oil. And of course, kosher salt and coarse black pepper. And if you like to have an optional bed of rice, include 1 cup long grain rice cooked to directions.
If you want the hard copy of these ingredients with directions, the link to download is in the Show More section.
Your gang may enjoy this fantastic Chinese beef and broccoli over a steaming portion of long-grained white rice. And who says you can't get the same flavor experience that you get at your favorite Szechuan or Cantonese eating spot? Bon appetit! Here are a few more tips and recipes that you may find interesting. Also, check out our website, aquickrecipe.com, for more interesting cooking ideas.
Thanks for watching. See you next time on our YouTube channel, A Quick Recipe.